Well, hello, everyone. Well, hello to you all. Happy Sunday. Happy April 29th, 2023. And a happy brunch. Welcome. This is our brunch day. Oops, heard something off here. I had my other channel on there. Yeah, welcome. Hi, Mila. Where are you off to? Oh, she saw a bird. Oh, really? She's all wants you to know she's leaving because she saw a crow land in the garden. So that was what the announcement from Mila was. And of course, watching the crows in the garden is so much more important than hanging with us. But hopefully she'll be back. Well, welcome. We're just going to wait a couple minutes for everybody to find the stream, as is our way. We'll just chit chat for 10 minutes. If you're watching this repeated, just 10 minutes, we chat. People are like, I don't have time. Just skip ahead to the remotes. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're just gathering up everybody while we're waiting. I am here in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. I'm having a cup of coffee sweetened with a little bit of maple syrup today and a glass of water. I want to give gratitude to all of you who have decided to join us. Tell us a little bit about where you're coming from, what you're drinking, what you eaten during brunch. Maybe share it with the brunch group. We extend this brunch table to anybody who wants to join us. We do this every Sunday and have for close to 4 years. And we get together and we just talk about politics and anything else we want to share with the group. I'll tell you, we got a lot to talk about, so it's going to be a fun group today. We just ask, there's only one rule. We assume we're all intelligent adults here. So the only rule is please don't insult each other. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you. This is not cable television. So we're not into fighting with other political parties. That's that boxing style. That's part of, I don't know, cable TV that wants you to hate the other side, get it like a boxing match, right? It's not really what we do here. So please, no insulting whoever the other side is. We have members who are from all political parties. So just be aware of that. The next announcement I want to make is that, backed by popular demand, we are raising funds today for AmericanForest.org. As many of you know, we're entering fire season. We've also had some serious tornadoes, etc., which have done quite a bit of environmental damage. The great thing about trees is that they're natural breakers. You know, they protect the land from erosion, etc. So trees are always a good idea. So AmericanForest.org, know that for every dollar that you donate, 100% goes to AmericanForest.org, and that it will be used for forest management, maintenance, but also tree planting. Yes. So for every dollar, I believe they are able to plant one sapling, but they also do maintenance as well. So we already have one tree father who has given birth to 21 trees. Wish him a mazel tov. That would be Sam Nomad. So it's something nice to think about also, is that when you do buy trees, you can over the years meditate on wondering where they were planted. I mean, they're doing a lot of planting in California, for example, parts of the Midwest. So it's kind of I always wonder, where did my trees? Because I look up the different projects that AmericanForest.org has, different projects all over the world, like saving the monarch butterflies is one of their projects. And I always wonder, like, where did my tree go? Like, where is it? Is it somewhere in the Serengeti? I mean, like, where's my trees? I bought a lot of trees over the years. Well, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to say hi to all of you and tell me a little bit about yourselves. Looks like Maria Granjan Dinas is here, and she is in South Sweden, near Denmark and Copenhagen. Hi, Maria. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel. Hi, Jiggy Pardo Lord. Thank you for being a member, and a good Sunday to you as well. Margaret Cummings is in the house. Great to see you here. Glad you're enjoying your brunch. Linda Pruitt, hello to you. And Dylan is in the house. Thank you for being a member and supporting the dream. Much gratitude to all of you who have supported the channel. It means a lot. Rhonda Shank is in the house. Hi, Rhonda. Thank you for being a member and supporting me. Judith Juliet, beautiful name. Great to see you. Of course, Sam Nomad is our first person to buy trees today. Much gratitude. Joel Tilson back in the house. Ready to box and keep the channel safe for all of you. He's coming from Wyoming, and I'm sure he has some great food tips to share. He's always cooking some great stuff. Donald Lampert, thank you for being a member. Buenos dias to you as well. Claudia Zveres, hello to you. She's in Astoria, New York. Lovely. Desiree Robato, thank you for being a member, and also thank you for your help in moderation. LC, thank you for being a member. Patrice Kelly, welcome. There was a big tornado in Florida. I did a remote view for somebody last week, and the Knight of Swords fell over her travel plans. And I said, you're not headed to the East Coast, are you? And she was like, no, why? I'm like, I'm seeing really, the Knight of Swords is wind energy, right? It's, I doubt there are any professional tarot readers that would see the Knight of Swords as for a weather question. If you get Knight of Swords, I don't think any reader would see that as a good sign, because Knight of Swords is all about wind and violence, etc. So I was reading for somebody last week, and I was like, don't travel, like just stay off the East Coast. I guess you guys are just getting beaten up really pretty bad, so please stay safe. Judith Juliet, you're in Ottawa, Canada. Hello. She's having a lovely Earl Grey tea and some toasted tomato sandwiches. That sounds absolutely lovely and delicious. That sounds wonderful. Stephanie Neshik, hello. She's in Albania. Bear bread and butter. So many of you having so many lovely meals. Hi, Fellerin. Fellerin is here. Thank you for your support. Chris Crowdis, thank you for membership. Kay Travel Tarot, thanks for helping. Kay's a good friend of mine, actually. My bestest buddy. And she's also a member. Thank you. Tawny Acosta. I just want to make an announcement. Tawny Acosta, she's a member. She's also a activist for LGBTQ rights, specifically trans rights. Remarkable woman, therapist. She works with a type of hypnosis that helps you heal from PTSD, etc. Anyway, I'm going to be doing an interview with her. So if you have any questions for Tawny, you'd like to know about her work, about what it really is to be a trans woman, she's completely open. We were talking the other day, and Tawny and I were thinking, maybe if we just demystify it and just so that people don't have this idea that trans women are these spooky, scary people. So she and I are going to do a couple of interviews so that people, any questions people have about being trans. And then we're going to be talking a lot about her work that she does advocating and teaching and healing. So that'll be a fun thing we have to look forward to for the channel. Okay. Let's do some remote viewing. It looks like we've been here about 9 minutes and plenty of people are here. Hi, Debbie Brady. Thank you for your whole help. I miss you too, Kay. Where the heck are you? Kay gave me a driving lesson that did not go very well. I completely forgot how to drive. It was not good. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about what is going on in Ukraine. A lot of people, and I certainly welcome other feedback from other remote viewers. We're going to talk about the remotes up to this point. Please feel free to interrupt, ask questions, clarify. This is a brunch. Everybody can talk. Everybody can talk as long as you're subscribed. So, a couple of weeks ago, I went into a remote view where I attempted to try and find out what was going on with Russian military leadership and Russian generals' leadership had asked for a military assessment of the likelihood of them winning in Ukraine based on how things were going. And the military strategist had come back and delivered information to the Russian military that, based on war game strategy information, all the data that they had, there was no way that Russia could win in Ukraine. This is the conclusion that the Russian military strategist had come to a couple weeks ago. So you have a couple things going on as it looks from my perspective as a remote viewer. Number one, the data is devastating. They can't win. So once you realize you can't win, it seems to me as one of the head generals of Ukraine is, well, then we got to go. My beef with Putin is we've already had statisticians, we've already had the experts assess the situation. We can't win. So, from Putin's perspective, he's angry. He feels he has a right to Crimea. Crimea is part of Russia. We built Crimea. We built the ports. This is a lie. Americans don't care about freedom. They don't care about Crimea. They don't care about giving Crimea to Ukraine. It's all about the fact that the West wants to take control of the ports and control of the money and control of the Black Sea. And that's really what's going on. And they've brainwashed the American people into believing that Crimea belongs to a unified Ukraine because the West wants control of the trade. And that's not fair because we made Crimea everything it is, and we made Odessa everything it is. It's us, it's ours, and we have a right to take it back. And we built all that stuff with our resources, and now you Westerners want to come in and claim that we're oppressing you when we want to take control of the stuff that we built. We've been there for hundreds of years. I know how you feel. This is Xi's response. So Xi's response to Putin was, I know exactly how you feel. They're doing the same thing with me in Taiwan. I keep telling them that Taiwan is part of China. Taiwan will always be part of China. We built Taiwan, but they want access to trade and resources from Taiwan. So they're fighting for an independent Taiwan because they don't want us to have access to what's our stuff. We built that. We built Taiwan, right? So you have this connection between Xi and Putin. Can you let me just stop for a second? Can you guys see the scene I'm creating? Am I doing okay? Or is everybody lost already? Let me grab my coffee. Did I lose everybody? I guess I'm just checking in. So what Xi said to Putin at that point was, I'm summarizing the feeling I get. You know, the feeling I get when I sit with these people. And the feeling I got as Xi was, one of the things that I've learned is to be wise enough to understand that there's a right time and a right place, right? There's a right time and a right place, Putin. As Xi, I want to say to you, Putin, I get where you're coming from because I feel the exact same way about Taiwan. I hear you. I hear you. I know. I hear you. I know what the West is up to, but here's the thing. There's a time and a place. And right now, you need to pull back and take these assessments seriously. The day will come when you'll be able to take back Crimea. The day will come when you will be able to do this, but that day isn't today. It's my job as your friend to take you aside and say, I understand, but you need to listen to your military people and accept the fact that by staying, you're only making things worse for yourselves and that you're not going to be able to take this area right now. So you need to pull back and assess. So that was the feedback. Number one, that it was a war that couldn't be won based on their own military strategist. And number two, you had Xi brokering a deal where he was saying what? Exactly. He was saying, I totally get where you're coming from. I got the same thing going on. They're doing trade with Taiwan. We built that crap. You divided it up and took our resources for the West. But she is also understanding that there's a time and a place. She can wait, right? She can wait. He can sit, he can wait. He's patiently waiting until the right time. And so that is what he has convinced Putin. Oh, the right time will come. The right time will come, and then you can do it. But now it's not the right time. So we gave the remote. CNN reported that they saw military bases emptying out. They weren't the only ones that reported it, because it's based on aerial footage that they are pulling their troops out of Crimea to prepare for the counteroffensive. It feels to me like this is a quiet withdrawal from the area. You know, it goes back to the conversation, how does Putin leave without embarrassing himself? He does it quietly. So in terms of the counteroffensive, if you're just asking me to go in and scan as a remote viewer the weather, which is something people have asked, it feels, I cannot believe the amount of mud in Bakhmut, to be honest with you. That area, I had no idea. I don't know, I've never been there. It's really rained a lot. It is really, we're talking about thigh deep in mud. You can't fight in this time. The terrain is terrible. The equipment is not set up. Now, from a military perspective, you would probably want to lean on your aerial defense, because you can't move in this disaster. And that's probably where we're headed, is that they will probably have to withdraw. Now, there's things that they can do. They can booby trap the area. They can stick nuclear weapons in Belarus and threaten Westerners to stay out, or they're going to detonate things. And that's pretty much what they're doing. So they're pulling out, they're sticking weapons in Belarus. They're depending heavily on their air defense. But quagmire of mud. But that's basically what's going on in Ukraine. So when I say that the war is over, energetically, energetically, you feel Russia's energy pulling out. Now, I want to talk briefly about Putin and his relationship with the head of Wagner. What Putin said to us a couple of weeks ago is that Wagner was too expensive. Does everybody remember the conversation where Putin said they're too expensive? That there was tension between the Wagner group. So I went in and I found that the Russian soldiers hate the Wagner group. So I asked the Russian soldiers, in a nutshell, could you please tell me why you hate the Wagner group? Here's what the Russian soldiers said. We hate the Wagner group because they take all of our stuff and they don't pay for it. They're mooches. So, okay, thank you for the feedback. Let's think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. You've got two armies. I gotta go. I got no choice. I'm a Russian soldier. I've got no equipment. I'm cannon fodder. I was born in Russia. My parents work hard. They pay taxes. I have to serve. We got these people who are paid higher. Their food is better than our food. Their cafeteria is better than our cafeteria. Their equipment's better than our cafeteria. Not only that, but they come over to our side and they're constantly asking us for stuff. Your mooches. Get your own damn equipment. How am I painting a picture? Is everybody seeing this? You're expensive. You bankrupted us. We're Russians and I don't even have protective equipment. So what started to happen? They started shooting at each other. because the Russian soldiers hate these guys. You're not even Russians. So we have that going on. And according to the head of Wagner, they're out of ammo. Based on the remote from a couple of days ago, they'll be out in less than a week. He's now claiming that the Wagner group, if it doesn't get more financial aid, etc., financial support, excuse me, that they're going belly up. But I think they're out of weapons in about 4 days based on the remote, which means they're going to have to pull out and leave. If they've stolen equipment. I thought that was really interesting, though. I just didn't expect that to come out of the Russian guy's mouth. They're mooches. I'm like, yeah, I guess I would feel that way too. Uh, so Putin had said that, according also to that remote, Putin said that it was the Wagner Group and a bunch of sycophants who egged Putin on. Yeah, they're going to be grateful. They're going to be damn grateful we do this. Yeah, yeah. And then you have, yeah, we're going to go in because they're going to get paid. We can do this for you. We'll be done in 2 weeks. Yeah, we can do this. We can wrap this puppy up. And then they charged a ton. So they paid all this money to Wagner and they didn't deliver. So what happened? You have this growing animosity from Russian soldiers. They're taking all the money. They didn't, they're idiots. They don't produce what they said they were going to produce. So what did Putin say? First off, now they're starving them out. We're not going to pay them. We blame you. Now he's blaming Wagner for what happened. But then the second thing he said, what did Putin say? There are cheaper contractors, right? What did he say 2-3 weeks ago? He said there are cheaper contractors we can get. Wagner's one of the most expensive contracting companies you can go with. I hate to be offensive, but we can get better fighters out of Africa. They're cheap. What's going on in Sudan? Anybody know anything about the situation in Sudan? Wagner is very little involved. They said that Wagner is involved, but a fact check showed, again, Wagner, they charged too much. So they were going with cheaper contractors out of Africa was the majority. 80-90% was not Wagner. It was cheaper soldiers, which was precisely what Putin had said 2 weeks ago, to destabilize the area and get Americans, their embassy, etc., out of Sudan. Yes? So was Putin telling us the truth? Are there cheaper ways to build a revolution if you just go with African contractors who charge half the price, right? What's interesting when you go in this energy is you understand the business of war, that it is a business. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about Xi from China. What's in it for him? Why is he brokering a deal, do you think? Anybody got an opinion? Why is she talking with Zelensky, and why is Zelensky feeling good? Like, wow, that was a really productive conversation we had last week. What's that about? What do you think's going on? Any opinions about is she just a loving man who wants peace on earth? Ooh, DD. Boon Dragon. I like how Joel Tilson just goes right to the point here. Control of contracts in Ukraine. What are those contracts looking like? Why would she want to be in Ukraine building contracts? I know. Other people's children. Thank you. Money, trade routes, exactly. I don't know about the rest of you, but being a remote viewer looking at this stuff over the last couple of years, I have learned a lot I mean, I didn't know any of this stuff until I started looking at it. But yeah, it's he wants an infrastructure to be there. The contracts coming in for Ukraine are already, people are bidding. People will bid for certain things. Everything that's been destroyed, laborers to rebuild their, what, it's a disaster what's happened to their train system, for example. Cheap steel, cheap workers from China. Yeah. Based on how Zelensky is talking, and based on the fact that it was she that was able to sit down and give a reality check to Putin and say now is not the time to take Crimea, and the fact that they're pulling back, I would say that Zelensky feels very indebted to China. What's the problem with that? Is there such a thing as a free lunch? Well, there should be. At my house, there is. You come to my house, I'll make you free lunch. Oh no. Exactly. You guys got it. Are you guys frustrated that the news isn't telling you any of this stuff? Frustrated you got to wait 3-4 weeks to get the news? I know. Could always remote view. Yeah, farmland. Good point that Stephanie makes is that, oh my God, Stephanie, oh, Stephanie, I love you. Stephanie from Albania says something that we didn't think about, and that is the desperate need that China has for farmland, grain, wheat. They have a population of 1 point, what is it, 7 billion or something? They don't produce enough food to feed their population, so they have to take control of land, whether it's buying land in other countries, pig farming, Smithville, grain production. And Stephanie was just pointing out they desperately want to have a hold on the food industry in Ukraine. It's the grain belt. How desperate do you think that Russia would or China would be to get a hold of those types of resources? Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. That's a very good point. I hadn't even thought about that, but of course that's what you would think about. The bread basket. Yeah, they want a piece of the bread basket. I mean, if the problem is that how I feel, just because I got to be a fly on the wall for the conversation he was having with Putin. The thing that makes me uncomfortable is it's not like they're giving up Crimea and Taiwan forever. They're not giving up Crimea. They're not giving up taking over. They're just giving it up for now until they can reassess their situation. It's not like they've had a change of heart. That's not what she is saying. And she is actually agreeing with Putin. Yeah, take it, but not today. Or is he just talking out of both sides so that he can get the contract, and he desperately wants to see an end to the war because it's been devastating for China's economy. So I have to take about consideration of that as well. Yeah. So much going on. My Lord. Okay. Also, I want to give gratitude to the person who cured my cough. Thank you. Somebody, I guess, I don't know who you are, if you're a doctor or a healthcare person, they knew that I tested positive for tree allergies and cat. And then they noticed during the remotes that I was burning tree pollen. Which I've tested positive. Pine needles and cedar wood. I was chanting and praying, burning massive amounts of tree pollen. That's why I'm not coughing. I stopped. So whoever you were who Cured the problem? Thank you. I love this stuff. Yeah. Anybody want it who's in Portland? It's the Morningstar brand. This was what was causing it. Notice I'm not coughing and no medicine. I just stopped burning tree pollen. It's my cat too. By the way, she has been shedding like a. Thank you, whoever figured it out. Isn't that crazy? Can you believe that? All right. So the next thing has burning tree pollen. The smoke, and I was like, burning more incense. I love it, and but it doesn't love me, and so I have to do the smokeless incense from now on. Was that you, Geocosmic? Who was the person who figured it out? They're like, wait a minute, you just said that you tested positive for tree pollen. Why are you burning a bunch of tree pollen? I'm like, oh, that's what it was. Well, it's also the resin. I'm allergic to the resin. It's the resin. It's the whole. Just stop burning it. All right. I want to talk now. We've got a couple more remotes, and then we're going to do the collective, and then we're going to do a blitz. Do the blitzes. Okay, everybody? The other thing, I want to give a shout out and gratitude to another reader. This is going to make sense, and I just want her opinion. Linda G. Comanche Psychic. Y'all know her? I've been doing a remote view on Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis? I want to talk about her. Y'all know Linda G, right? I'd like to get her opinion about this. She had a vision a while back where she saw a powerful woman take Donald Trump down. Y'all remember that? So here's what I think is going on with Fannie Willis. She went after what was going on in Georgia. Y'all remember? And there is the investigation into what was going on in Georgia, trying to switch the vote. She was going to go forward with charges, but what the remote looked like is that she was contacted by the people overseeing. The feds are overseeing a grand jury in Virginia with the same people. So there's a federal investigation and there's a state investigation. And there's also risk, I don't know about double jeopardy or what, but I do know based on the remote that the feds had to interview people who had already gone forward and spoken with the state, and they were negotiating some kind of deal in order for them to testify or cooperate with the federal investigation. Now, Mark Meadows still has not spoken to the grand jury in Virginia. So my question to you is, why do you think that he hasn't spoken to the grand jury yet? Why has Mark Meadows still not spoken to the grand jury? What do you think's going on with Mark Meadows, Giuliani? Why is there a delay in their testimony? Yeah, Linda said a dark-haired woman will come and she will take Trump down. I think it's fantastic. I think that she had a vision of Fannie Willis. I'll tell you why. Because it's too perfect. Because they told Fannie Willis that they were going to be done with the questioning. They were going to be done with their grand jury, and whoever they plan on indicting will be done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And that's when she plans her own indictments. And so that tells me that they're working on flipping certain people. And the reason why Mark Meadows is delayed is because he's flipping. So if they can get these people to flip, they may be able to negotiate a lesser sentence for the state charges, this is starting to look very similar to how they used the state with Michael Cohen to negotiate with the feds. In fact, it's looking an awful lot like that. And so, if that's what we're looking at, and I think we are, then they will basically finish up their stuff with their grand jury, and then they will hand the leash over to Fani Willis, and then she gets to ride the posse home, right? She's the one that's going to take this home because they're going to be done in about 4 to 6 weeks. And I think Meadows is going to flip. And I think that that's the real reason why they want Fani Willis to hold off on her indictments. And I think she's the one that's going to take them out. Anybody disagree? It's okay if you do. Desiree Robato feels that the deal has already been made, that Meadows has already come around. Possibly, yeah. So, you know what I was thinking also? After watching what Linda said and what's happening now with Fani, and I was like, "Hey, Linda, I think you got it right. I think it's that Fani Willis is going to do." What was the other thing that had my mind going is how much is how much is predetermined, and how much is free choice. Like, you can't help but wonder when you see something like that, and then 4 years later, it all plays itself out. Like, sometimes people screw themselves so much that there's only one conclusion to how things will play themselves out. Kathy Reagan wants to know if I see the war ending by this fall. Probably sooner. I mean, they're pulling back. When your own military says you can't win, and when she is taking you aside and saying, "I hear you, I feel the same way you do, but it's just not going to happen right now." Be like a wise Asian. Learn how to wait, right? In Buddhism, is Siddhartha, I can think, I can fast, and I can wait. That's she. He can think, he can fast, and he can wait, and the day will come when I will be able to take Taiwan. I'm a patient man. It just won't happen today. And that's basically what he's saying to Putin. If you go into the energy of Zelensky's not going to stop until they're out of Crimea. He's not, because according to what Zelensky said to us, it's a volcano, a black smoke and fire that they have brought the people of Ukraine. And if we allow them to be in a position of power in Crimea, it will give them the opportunity to do this again. It will be like sitting duck. So he wants, for all those reasons, he's not going to stop until they're out of Crimea. Yeah. Yeah, Putin probably won't last. Too. He probably won't be able to even do much in the future. It's more like palliating him. Is there any truth to what they're saying about us wanting to take control? Probably, but it's still there. But I think both are true. I think we want control of the trade, but I also think it's genuinely a human rights issue. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, do the empath's prayer, and do a community reading. We can look at Putin's health. I think the guy with the face that looked all moon, oh my God, he's dying. I think that was probably not Putin, because I've seen pictures of his doubles, and one of his doubles has that moon face. And so I wonder if that was even Putin we were seeing. He's got at least 3-4 doubles. Okay. Also, before we close, I just close the remotes. I also wanted to just give gratitude to everybody who has joined our membership program. Uh, we have we have a couple different membership levels. So thank you to everyone who has joined and supported the channel up to this point. Um, we had a couple new members. I wonder if I can, let me see if I can give a shout out before we do the impasse prayer. I always like to give a speech, as they say, give a gratitude. Oh, yes. So the recent activity, the recent members, I just wanted to say hi to you. Patricia Norton Medina, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Mel Broussard has rejoined. Thank you so much. And Jeff Rose has recently joined as well. Thank you so much. Christine Brooks, hi, is a new fairy and angel. Judy O'Donnell, thank you so much, fairy and angel. Lana Loris, a new fairy and angel. And Sandra Jones, new elder and an empath. Thank you so much. Much gratitude. Oh, Geocosmic Valentine invented Blitz, Blitz, Blitz away. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you. We've kept it. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. All right, this is a collective reading. If any parts of it speak to you, great. If not, you can dismiss it. It may be for somebody else. This is based on the idea that we have a collective consciousness. And so we just go into the collective consciousness and see what messages Spirit wants you to receive at this time. That way everybody gets a reading. Not everyone can afford a private reading, so I try to make sure everyone gets at least one reading a week. This is a time of high stress for many people. I feel it. You know, the economy has been very difficult. Inflation, people are really having a rough time of it. A lot of people can't pay. We're seeing more homes, people selling their homes. It's just too much. It's become impossible to live in the United States. I really feel the stress that people are under. That is a feeling that comes up quite a bit. We have the stress card. Many of you could be worrying about just too many bills. What can we do to start slashing the bills? Our ancestors didn't have cable. They didn't have all these bills. But Nine of Swords can be a stress card, and stress at night, fear at night. Like I have a fear of death. I'll be honest with you. So at night I think about my heart beating. Oh my God, I'm going to die any second now. Right? You can get yourself into these panic modes. So Nine of Swords can be stressing at night, anxiety, insomnia. It can also be migraine headache and chronic pain in the head, sinuses. I'm getting a lot of that because of my allergies. But Nine of Swords is often stress we see at night. It can also be a sexual frustration card, depending upon what other cards are next to it. But Nine of Swords is the base. But I think it has a lot to do with the economics, that a lot of people are just afraid for the future of this country financially, because Five of Pentacles is a poverty card. It's about, I got to get away from the stuff that's dragging me down, that's keeping me out of the church. The church has the light on, but they can't get in. The door is locked. She doesn't have any shoes. She's got this guy hanging on to her that's dragging her down. It can be a feeling that people, places, or circumstances are dragging you down. You can't get ahead. Fear of poverty, stress. I just think it's a really a stressful time for the country. I feel like our current president is doing a great job. That's my own personal opinion, but I also think that he will continue to do a great job in terms of offering relief for the American people. The first card here is the Six of Pentacles, which is justice and the balancing of the scales and helping those who cannot help themselves so that they receive the resources that they need. And this is something that's come up before, that things are so hard for Americans right now, we could be seeing some kind of assistance coming in. The crossing card is be willing to let go of things. Be able to step back objectively and look at the things that you are tied to emotionally and financially and ask yourself, do I really need this? What are you currently attached to that is creating the problem? That is the fundamental thing to ask yourself at this time. Am I attached to anything that is creating more stress? A car I can't afford, a house I can't afford, a condo I can't afford, a kid who's driving me crazy I can't afford, a relative who doesn't want to get a job. We've all been there, right? You don't love me if you don't pay my rent for me, right? Eight of Cups is coming as a crossing card, which could be a message to you to be willing to let go of stuff. Let go of the stuff that's stressing you out right now. That's like I keep joining these subscriptions and then I have to quit the subscriptions. Like, oh, I want to watch that show on Netflix. I should sign up for Netflix. And then I watch it and then then I unsubscribe. Like, why am I paying money out of my pocket for Netflix when I don't even watch Netflix? Look where your money is going with these types of cards, particularly with a Five of Pentacles as a karma card. Now is the time to reassess. And with a crossing card of an Eight of Cups, they're basically telling you what your possessions walking away from. And so it's basically a time when we really want to make an assessment of how we spend our money. Money is an outflow of energy, and also walking away from possessions, relationships, etc. A lot of you folks, I think a lot of Americans are just not even retiring in the United States anymore. I don't know how America is going to stop this massive exit of Americans outside the US, but you have a world card in the fourth house, which could indicate opportunities outside the US for some of you. And some of you could be traveling this summer. You have the summer card here and possible international travel for many of you. Good stars. You're good people. We've attracted some good people. You've accumulated some really good karma in your past, good stars in your past. I do think some of you are struggling with commitment issues. Some of you may not want to be married, or you got to be free, free, free. There's a lot of you that really want to be free right now, and that could be a conflict for your love life. You got to decide, do you want to be free or do you want to be committed? Because some of y'all are in a 901 state, which is get me the hell out of here. This is, I want to travel the world. I don't want burdens. I don't want too many possessions. I don't want people dragging me down financially. I don't want to be trapped. That's how it feels going into this energy. The past is dead and there's nothing I can do about it. Queen of Swords, coming into a very stoic period in your life where it's not that you lack empathy that you had when you were a kid. It's just that you're resolved that old relationships that you once clung to are over. A lot of you are just resolved that relationships are finished. This looks like a person who may have gone through divorce or breakups, or is just getting away from relationships that have drugged them down. For example, a Queen of Swords is often the divorcee. She puts the past behind her. And the fact that the karma card is a Five of Pentacles, walking away from situations that drag you down. The fact that there's an Eight of Cups there, which again is all about minimalism or letting things go. And the other you're having issue with is death and transformation. Again, would be an indication of old relationships passing away that don't serve you. to make room for new relationships, your hope and your fear, whether or not how intimacy will look for you in the future. Who, I think when we're older, we're a little bit less do whatever the hell you want. I'll see you on Tuesday. It's a little bit more, oh, he has another girlfriend. Great, enjoy it. Like we're less possessive the older we get. For example, there's a hope and fear of a King of Cups in the ninth house, and that is a card. It's a romantic suitors card. So I think that there's mixed feelings that people have here in the group about whether or not they even want to be pursued by romantic interest. But some of you do have romantic pursuers. The other thing that I always see for this group is that a lot of y'all are attracting young lovers, people that are younger than you. She has eaten the crow. Well, the crow is her nemesis. There's a crow that sits and makes faces at her right over here. You can't get me. There's a glass between us. So periodically she has to go and have an argument with the crow, and then she comes back here. Anyway, so final outcome is the Knight of Cups again, which is young suitors card, Knight on a white horse. This is why I always feel like this group is young at heart. You know what I mean? You're a young at heart group. The clarification for many of you is the reason why many of you are not involved in passionate love affairs right now isn't because of your age. That's all BS. It's because you don't trust yourself. Some of you don't trust yourselves in relationships. Well, guys do a number on my head. Girls do a number on my head. I feel like I'm losing my power here. It's like when I fall hard, doctor. It's hard. Put the sword behind you. The past is over. I never want to fall in love again. And then Four of Wands shows up in the seventh house, which would indicate y'all coming into some intense passion and romance. Look at this. Death and transformation in the issues of love, and then Ace of Swords within 1 year. Some of you are heavily committed, possibly with somebody younger. I'm not attracted to people my own age. Go younger. If you're taking care of your health, then why be with somebody your own age if that's not what you're attracted to? I used to be offended when I would see guys going out with girls that were younger until I started getting hit on by all these younger men. And then, I get it now. There are guys that are attracted to older women, and there are guys that are attracted to younger. So it doesn't really matter who he's attracted to, right? So you've got this victory potential of love and romance in your future. But here's the thing. A lot of you don't trust yourselves because look at this. That's lust, honey, and codependency. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not totally opposed to codependency. It's okay to be madly in love and to need another person. But I see many of you entering into relationships with younger people. Look at it. Always comes up for you guys. Knight of Cups. Either that or he's just a young spirit. And then victory within 1 year over the issue, transformation of your love life. I think some of you are going to be in some very serious relationships. Here's the takeaway, though. You have free choice. Because some of you are like, oh, Whimsy, you don't know. When I fall so hard. My heart is ripped into pieces. Well, I don't know. That devil card leads me to think that a lot of people are afraid that their hearts are going to be broken, and that's why they may self-isolate. So the takeaway here is that there's nothing wrong with you self-isolating like you have been if you've been self-isolating over the next couple of years. But if you choose to put yourself back out there, go back to the gym, start learning salsa, and start getting back into life, as they say, you will attract a younger lover probably very soon. Some of you don't want it, though. I can totally relate to that reading because I guess I'm part of that reading in the sense that, I would love romance and passion, but I also know when I'm involved in these types of relationships, like, oh my God, it takes so much out of you. Like, I'm one of those people that's a little bit on the fence myself. I don't know. But that's what I see. Don't worry about the financial stuff over the US because there's a ton of aid and programs coming up under Biden with the Six of Pentacles. We will get through this as a country. Yeah. So that's what I see. I think that I am going to go for it. If I meet some young, sexy guy who gets me to start dancing again, why not? So I get my heart broken again. I'll recover. I say go for it. It's better to have passion than not have passion. That's my own personal feeling. Anyway. So did we get the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away? Boo Boo? Oh, Boo Boo the cat? I would just adopt Boo Boo the cat. What's one more? Mila, you're never going to catch it. Just let it go. It's never going to happen, Mila. There will always be a glass between you and that crow. Look at her. She cannot let it go. Anyway, so we're blitzing away. Let's see. First question I see here. Oh, we got the order. Liz L. King Charles coronation. Oh, okay. That's the first question. How is King Charles coronation going to go? Somebody had said, well, is anybody, I think the VP usually goes, right? The problem is that America is opposed to, we don't believe in that as Americans. And these are not politically, the royal family are not political, they're not members of political, they're not policymakers. So for that reason, it seems like it would be strange for our politicians to have anything to do with this. I mean, if it was somebody involved in politics, but it is a little weird for an American politician to go to a coronation when the whole point of America is that we fought a revolution, not to be a part of that. But let's see how the coronation, you might send your VP, send Kamala. All right, let's take a look. Well, they say that it's going to be a successful coronation with King Charles. They say that once he is in power, he's going to start feeling very comfortable giving his opinion. He's going to be more opinionated than the Queen. He's actually going to work on business policies. And he's going to be very successful. He has a series of policies he's going to be putting out over the next 6 months, and it's a successful. He's successful. You can see here an Ace of Wands, which is a business entrepreneur's card. We know he owns a couple different companies, and then you have a Six of Wands, which would be success. Riding into victory, I read literally. So we're talking about a 6-month period starting within 1 month. Next month is the coronation. He enters into this really powerful period. However, there is continuing rage coming from the opposition, particularly Harry. It's just this intense rage that I feel from Harry about what has been done to him, what has been done to his family, that shocked at the mistreatment. So you have this successful king, but his opposition, his son, it's not resolved. So Harry presents as the Knight of Swords. So they're just happy, happy. We're having a great coronation, but you can see this rage coming. However, it's appeased because Charles wants to offer Harry a job. And this is a paid job. It could be a paid job outside of Britain, but there's a lot of work to be done in terms of cleaning up stuff, particularly in the former colonies, etc. And this is money. This is, we want you back. We want to resolve this. We want to put it behind us, and we want you to come back to the family and to be paid and to be a working member. He wants Harry back, a working member of the royal family, and he's going to offer him a job. So Harry doesn't totally know that right now. It feels like there's all this rage, but you can see over him in the coming weeks Harry's relationship with Charles. I want you to come back to work. Ace of Pentacles. The hope and the fear for Charles, the planet Empress Gaia. This is Gaia's card. So he really wants a symbol for, the most environmentally friendly king in the world. Very heavy work lay ahead of him, moving. You gonna eat my hat? My hat's made of wool, so she's smelling it. Probably smells like an animal. She's smelling the lamb. Final outcome, a great work lay ahead for him. Probably him moving to Buckingham. He didn't want to do it, but he has to move into Buckingham. 10 of Wands. Packing up, moving to the new location, the new castle. He does very well for himself. Final outcome for him is confidence. 9 of Pentacles. He really likes Meghan. I think that's one of the things that has kind of been missed. It's actually Meghan and Charles really are very strong, very similar energetically. Both spiritual, both big on the environment, both into health and nutrition, both own their own companies promoting organic products. She's going into oat milk and stuff. But you get really great energy between Charles and Meghan. They also love the same music. They're both into blues. But what does she love? Billie Holiday, and yeah. So yeah, he does well for himself. Boy, Harry, woof, he got a temper on him, doesn't he? Knight of Swords, man. Yeah, they're going to work it out. Is Trump going to hurt the coronation? Trump is not, I don't think he's invited to the coronation. Does Harry get along with Camilla? No, if you read his biography, they hate each other. Why is he so upset? Because his wife was treated like crap and she didn't do anything wrong. And it's because he and his brother have issues. I've done remotes on William. William wants to beat his brother to death because he feels like his brother just goes off and does whatever the hell he wants. And then William is the one that has to be perfect all the time. And it's there's a lot of resentment because of that. The family put William and Harry in impossible situations, roles that are impossible for them to fulfill. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're at each other's throats because they've been placed in situations that would put them at each other's throats. He resents his younger brother being able to go off and do whatever the heck he likes. And then criticism from the peanut gallery. Well, I'm stuck. I can't leave. So that is a little bit of that. Okay. Well, I think the monarch lives traditionally in Buckingham Palace. Probably why he's kicking his brother out. Okay, so Joel Tilson wants to know about Pence's testimony. I can't believe how much better I breathe now that I'm not burning pine and cedar. I feel pretty stupid. I didn't even think about it. Who would think about that? Whoever you are, thank you. All right, Pence testimony. Let's take a look. So I probably have to throw out all of the ashes too that I've been cleaning up from the incense, right? It has the resin on it. Okay. How did Pence do in his testimony? One of the most important testimonies. Meadows is going to be even better. He's afraid of retaliation. He's afraid of Proud Boys and other paramilitary groups, these militias. He feels that he did not do anything. He's very confident that he's going to be okay, but growing animosity between him and MAGA is his concern. Very confident in his testimony. He was very, very helpful to the special counsel. Hopes and fears, Asa wants to be successful, but he has this Knight of Swords. So he's definitely received death threats from MAGA. This is somebody who he's afraid of the crazy people. That's Pence, but he did very well for himself in terms of, they say his testimony was quite helpful, and his testimony is helpful in leading to the conviction of certain members of certain people that were part of the January 6th protest will be convicted because of Mike Pence's testimony. And that is precisely why members of January 6th are threatened by him. I'll go ahead and show it to you now. He was very confident, very, told his truth. But this guy wants to flee like a thief. He's afraid of the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a violent paramilitary type of energy, right? The other in relationship with him, behavior, strife happening very quickly, their karma is sealed, which would, I assume, be the people he was testifying, these paramilitary groups. His hope and fear to be successful, and then the new administration. Here's what's interesting is the paramilitary, the violent people that he had spoken up against that engaged in the raid, court-martial or the courts. So basically, what they're saying is that the testimony that Pence gave was instrumental in leading to the conviction of members of the January 6th protest. Yeah. So he did very well for himself. The court, a card, justice falls on the insurrectionist. Yeah. Okay, somebody wants to know about Putin's health. Yeah, I think the other guy, oh my God, he looks terrible. I saw pictures there's 3 photographs of 3 separate men that do Putin's, that work for Putin as his, and one of them that has the moon fast. When you see that moon fast he's faced, that's not Putin, that's that's one of his doubles. Okay, Putin's health. They're not talking about his health. They're talking about the fact that there's growing animosity between him and the Russian Orthodox Church. It's no longer what it was. The Russian Orthodox Church have lost their confidence in him. Presents as the King of Swords, Ice King. Others in relationship to him feel trapped. The hope and fear that he will flee a situation, which I'm assuming is the war. The church, he's having problems with the church. The church told him to leave. He's trying to appease the church. He's on the outs with the church right now. Reaching across the aisle. Others feel trapped by him and want to end their relationships with him because of the situation he's placed them in. It's led to fighting. Look, thief tries to flee a situation of fighting. This is his own house. This is his own church. How do we know? Because here's his church. Lovers. He's trying to appease the church. He's in trouble with the church. The church is now condemning the war. Over Easter, they told him to end the war. So he's got, so basically, Putin has the church telling him to end the war over Easter Sunday, And then he also has his own military strategists saying that the war, based on their own war games, etc., the war cannot be won. He presents a Seven of Swords, which is a thief, which it was. It's a theft card and an attempt to flee like a thief. He has been what is above him, who has control over him in a position of power, is the church. So I'm assuming it's the Russian Orthodox, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church came as the one person who was above him, displeased with him, and showed him with a lover's beseeching the church for like forgiveness. This guy has a very strange dynamic with the head of the church, right? He's part of the extremist cult of the church. So this guy is the symbol of God incarnate for Putin. And the guy who's the symbol of God incarnate has said, God's not so happy now. Which leads me to think that there's a part of Putin that's very superstitious, fears the church being angry, fear of the leadership of the church. It's really interesting to see him getting out of Dodge and being frightened, helter-skelter, Seven of Swords, and what is he afraid of? And you see the church. That is wild for me, because you would think that there'd be would scare Putin, but there's almost like a childish fear of the church. And who's his daddy? It's like Trump's daddy is Putin, but who's Putin's daddy? Well, according to this, it's the church. And the church is saying, we don't like this war. This war is making us look bad. We're being accused of everything and anything. We had a right to take that Bible back, right? The Byzantine Bible they took from that. It was ours. We're taking it back. So much drama. How are we doing on the fundraiser? Anybody give? I can't see the numbers. Thursday News says Putin was rushed to the Kremlin. I don't know anything about it. I only know the remote views, and I can only give you I can only tell you what I saw. I'm pretty confident with what I saw, which was that their own strategists say they can't win. It's also kind of interesting to get into a matter-of-fact mental state with Russian generals. Oh, well, they say we can't win. I guess we can leave now. They're very matter-of-fact about it. Why stick around? We can't win. Well, we're out of here. Better luck next time. Anyway. Oh, I'm definitely allergic to my cat, but I've had her for 9 years, so, uh, I was thinking maybe of having, tarot readings in the kitchen because I'm not next to the incense and the pollen and everything. So, but my cough is almost gone. I still am by the resin. I'm by the ashes and everything. That was what was setting me off. Somebody caught it, one of the audience members. But if it happens again, I'll just take my laptop and go into the kitchen. But it seems to be helping us to just not burn that incense. Oh, this is a good question coming from Geocosmic Valentine. Did you guys hear about this thing with DeSantis and Disney and how people are getting so pissed off with DeSantis going after Disney that it's gotten to a point where um, I mean, he's had a real fall. It's starting to have a real falling out because so many people. But let's take a look. It's a weird dynamic. Oh, he did a purge of his inner circle? Yeah. Well, he's blaming the Wagner Group. That's a hell of a way to get revenge on someone you're mad at. You told me I could take this you could take it in 2 weeks. Great. I'm just going to have you be surrounded by the enemy and take away your weapons. That's one way to get back at somebody. DeSantis and Disney. He's starting to feel insecure. He's starting to feel embarrassed. He's starting to feel like he's lost power and control over the situation. Disney sees him as a joke. He's considered. People are making fun of him. This is looking like comedians and people in Florida are starting to make fun of him. He can't let it go. He's trying to clean the situation up. But if he can't let it go, it's going to cost him politically. This is somebody who needs to be right. He can't let it go. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm rubber, you're glue. Is that what they call? Trying to heat us. This is somebody who desperately wants you to take what he's offering, right? Page of Cups and Knight of Cups. He's trying to sell it, but the people, they're done. They're over it. Knight of Swords, King of Swords. We don't want to hear it. It's over. No, we don't want to go. My kids love Disney. I got stock in Disney. It's just not going to work. The hope and the fear, new beginnings, Queen of Wands, a new fight. You need to get off this. His power and also the Devil card. He is attached to things that he needs to get off this. His advisors are telling him to get off this because it's really making him look like an idiot. And he's got the Devil with the Magician card. This guy is obsessed with this to the point where it will literally take down his career. I mean, what do you tell somebody like that? You need to move on, buddy. What do we know about King of Swords and Knight of and the Queen of Swords? They're over it. They put the past behind them. They're icy cold. They're as cold as ice, right? It's over, man. Move on, right? So that's what his opposition, that's what people are telling him. Also, if that's Disney, man, you're pathetic. It's over. This weird trip you got going on with our company, it has that kind of feel to it. I don't think he's going to be the president. I think he only works in some areas of Florida. The rest of America thinks he's a joke. Was DeSantis involved in Gitmo and Abu Ghraib torture? I don't know. But I do know that he has no political future. MAGA has no political future. DeSantis was married at Disney? That's really bizarre. Okay, we're going to call it a day, everybody. We've been here for like an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. If you're trying to get in for a reading, you can go to whimsy.com. And do I have any other announcements? I don't think I do. If you, Is there anything else I'm supposed to announce? I will be teaching class 9 unless something happens on Wednesday. For heart-centered remote viewing, it is the mandatory discussion we have to have every quarter on the ethics of being a remote viewer. So if you are at the empath and healers level as a member of our channel, please come visit the live. It'll be at 6 p.m. on Wednesday to discuss ethics and remote viewing. All right, love and light to you all. Have fun with the rest of the day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Thanks again. And thank you, Debbie Brady, Geocosmic Valentine, Joel Tilson, Fillerin, and everybody else who has helped with to keep the place loving. I think that's all I have. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you.